Okay, earlier I gave you an exercise to introduce your right hand to picking one string at a time. We were just kind of taking the pick and hitting strings one at a time with downstrokes, with upstrokes. Just kind of getting the feel of it, letting your hand discover this new approach to right hand technique. Just all open strings. Down and up strokes. So now let's get organized with it and do an exercise that will really get your hand dialed into what will be a efficient and effective right hand technique. This is very important when we start playing scales. So the exercise is super simple. It's all open strings, and all we're going to do is a down, up on each of the strings. We're going to start on the low string to the high string, and then back from the high string to the low string. Let me demonstrate it for you. Down, up, 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 down, up. And then we're going to come back descending from the high strings to the low strings. We'll start again on the first string. Down, up, 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 down. So very, very symmetrical and organized. It's a good way to develop this technique where you can just watch your right hand because the left hand isn't doing anything. It's all open strings. Let's talk a little bit about positioning and technique and whatnot. If you watch a lot of players play, you'll see quite a variety in approaches. You'll see people resting their fingers on the guitar or their pinky, resting up here, back here. There's not necessarily one single correct way here. It's really what works best for your hand. So we want to start you off in a way where it's a good kind of middle ground sort of technique. Because as you play different kinds of music and different things on the guitar, you will make subtle shifts in how you approach it with your right hand. But since you're just starting out, we want to pick one way to position your hand that'll be really effective most of the time. So I'm going to suggest you do it with an anchor, anchoring the hand on the strings, not on the face of the guitar, but actually on the strings themselves. So when I played this exercise, maybe you noticed that when I was playing the 6th string, the 5th string, and the 4th string, I was actually resting the back of my fingers. My fingers were curled in, and I was resting very lightly on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. I wasn't playing those strings, so it didn't matter if I was touching them. When I went to the 3rd string, 2nd string, and 1st string, I subtly shifted my hand over to where I was resting on the kind of around the heel of my hand, very lightly. So this is something for you to explore and how this feels with your hand. And it takes some getting used to because you're just starting with this technique. So really any way you go about it is going to feel kind of awkward at first. That's only natural. So if you pay attention to how your hand is resting like this as you play, the exercise is so simple. You have the ability to focus on these other factors I'm telling you about. So let me show you the whole exercise. I'm going to do a few passes, meaning that I'm going to go from 6 to 1 and 1 to 6 a couple of times. did you notice that when I got up to the first string, I hit it 4 times, down, up, and then I hit it 4 more times, down, up, and then came back down the 6th string, I did the same thing. So essentially I doubled up on the 6th and the 1st string, and that was just to keep it balanced. So you're just going back and forth from 6 to 1, from 1 to 6. And this is one of those exercises where it would be good to maybe set a timer. And maybe for 5 minutes, just go back and forth, as many repetitions, rather than trying to keep track of how many times you do it. Say, I'm going to do this 10 times. It's not that kind of exercise. It's really just the more time you spend picking the strings, that the quicker your hand will get comfortable with it and develop very efficient and effective technique.